Hey everyone, we're outside here again in Bozeman, Montana. This is Brad with Pro Light Gear, and today we're going to run a sneak peek on a few big Agnes shelters that are coming out for the spring. You all remember, if you've seen the videos, I'm sure you have, the big Agnes Scout UL2. We just weighed this morning. This is the sample one at 2 pounds 1 ounce with all the stuff sacks, all the stakes, all the extra guy line, basically everything it comes with, even the tags on it. So 2 pounds 1 ounce for this little shelter. You can see it definitely is tall in the back, just like the front. This had a wildfire success for Big Agnes this year. It sold incredibly well. Due to that, they decided to hybrid out and make a few other shelters based on this exact tent. I'm going to walk you over here. Ooh, look at that pan. Nice job, Shay. We're going to look at the Scout UL2 Plus. So this is the Scout UL2 with a vestibule. That's something that this tent was lacking, that some people had complained about. If you look at the difference really in, sorry, I'll talk this way, I know my voice goes the way I look like in the camera. I just don't want to trip on guy lines. If you look at the height difference between the original Scout and this one, the back pole is a good foot and a half lower, which gives it a little better profile in the wind. The back portion is a little bit easier to set up and actually get guyed out to get a lot more breathability. I think the Scout UL2 Plus is a definite upgrade to the UL2 original. My only complaint, and these are prototypes, I don't know if these are going to be the production way or not, there are straight tie outs on this front vestibule, and we're on soft grass here, so you can pull up these stakes with no problem and just reset them just slightly. If you're out in, nature, the wilderness, it's not going to happen that you just have that perfect spot to move it around to every single time. So just get the proper tension. I would like to see Big Agnes give us some different tie outs on these 3 points right here. Everywhere else has an adjustable tie out except those. I do like the frog eye vent on the front here because of, I'll just get in there and show you. Shane, you might need to pop the camera loose on this one. With the original Scout, there was really no way if it was raining to open this up and ventilate. So there's really no way you're going to get a lot of breathability through this little shelter. This tent is the opposite. It's very much like every other tent out there where you've got a real nice vestibule. You've also got a big breathable mesh panel, so it's going to move moisture through into the vestibule. You can leave the vestibule open to crack, or this beautiful frog eye vent will bleed a lot of moisture. So that's pretty neat. Shane, you can look in the back here if you'd like. With that, I'm going to roll up the door and you can kind of bring the camera in if you don't mind. And kind of see the room as compared to the original Scout UL. And if you want to see the actual size-like comparisons, just check out the UL2 Scout video. You can definitely see the height difference in the poles by how they're pitched. The one in the back, the bottom section isn't even out. And in this front pole, the bottom section is out to the stopping point with about the same amount shown up at the top here. But a lot of room. This thing pitches in the wind very, very well. It's a little breezy here right now, so I'm sorry if there's wind noise on the camera. All the guy lines are positioned very, very well. My only critique is not giving us adjustable tie outs right here. It's just a hard tie-in point, which it's going to move. You need to tighten this up a little bit to get this luff out, and you really can't do that without repositioning the stake. So I think Big Agnes needs to change that. As this tent sits, we weighed it this morning at 2 pounds 5 ounces with all the stakes, all the guy lines, all the packaging, all the everything. So a small amount of weight gain, 2 pounds 5 ounces for a wonderful 2-person 3-season tent. If you don't have enough room in this one, I'm gonna sneeze.
Excuse you.
Thank you. We move over here to the Big Agnes Super Scout. This is both of the Scout tents on steroids. The difference between this one and the others really is that the trekking poles don't go inside the shelter for both poles. Just a single pole in the middle goes to the sleeping area. Shane, I'll have you come back here and look at the tail end. The tail end on this shelter, we have one guy line loose. We didn't have enough stakes for this one. That might stiffen things up a little bit, but this guy line does a really nice job. So Not really necessary unless you're tying this up to something like a tree. The back here, they send you a small 2-piece aluminum pole. Rather than use a trekking pole in the back, I have to carry 3. So I don't mind that at all. My only complaint on this is when you put this up, you're just pushing that into the ground. And if the ground is wet or you have to be in a place where over time, this tent is going to actually put some tension down this. It's going to slowly start working its way in, and this back piece will loosen up. I think they need to install a little point down here for a grommet for this to set in, so you can constantly keep this back piece properly tensioned the whole time. Might be a small nitpick, but I think that needs to happen. Let's wander around to the front, sir, and take a look at this vestibule. If anyone has ever looked at a Hilleberg tent, Hilleberg is known for their big, they call them the GT vestibules, and this is a GT vestibule. I mean, it's almost another tent in itself. So if you're out for a significant amount of time and you just want a place to relax, kind of get away from your boots, your backpack, just kind of relax, this is the way to go. This tent, I should say, with everything included, all the stuff sacks, all the heavy stakes, everything along those lines, this is 2 pounds 11 ounces. So really a fair weight along there as well. I mean, the Big Agnes Seed House 2 freestanding tent is only about 2 pounds 10 ounces to 2 pounds 13 ounces as it stands. I'm going to roll this up so you can kind of see the size of the vestibule a little bit better. If it's raining, you can absolutely still sit under here, enjoy the rain without being claustrophobic inside your tent. You kind of get a little window to the world. The awning right here comes over the front of this tent face. So even if it's a downpour, you're really not going to get the inside of this tent wet because the mesh doesn't start till up higher. I'm going to crawl in here. And you can see in this vestibule, there's a ton of room. You could actually sit here and cook, put your cook stove over here, put your pack, your boots, and have a nice little area just to be completely happy in. For 2 pounds 11 ounces, this is one of the lightest, most spacious tents I've been in as far as vestibule size and sleeping area. If you want to come in here, Shane, you can look at the sleeping area. We're going to roll this door back, kind of get in there and see a little bit better. There we go. Toggles. Alright, really nice sleeping area, about the same footprint as all the other tents we've looked at from the Scout series. They do give you nice little gear pockets here, and rather than giving you a flat sewn piece just up against the wall to wall, this actually has a 3-dimensional shape to it. It's actually a triangle with a built-in mesh bottom, so you can actually put quite a bit of stuff in here, like everything you need for a nighttime. I always take ibuprofen, or if it's really windy at night, Tylenol PM for a blissful night's sleep. That's usually what goes in with me. Headlight, bear spray, things like that can be nicely organized away from the tent. And if you're looking back here, Shane, the one thing I forgot to point out is that in this model, there is no pole on the inside of the back of the tent. That little rod sits on the very back outside, so you have a ton of room in the back there to kind of slide around and make it home. People have complained about trying to crawl in and around this thing. I'm a big guy. I don't really notice it too much. You just kind of throw your stuff in, crawl in, call it good. We hope you've enjoyed this sneak peek into the Big Agnes tent series. I think my favorites are going to be this one, the Super Scout, and the Scout Plus. The Super Scout, though, man, for this amount of room and that little amount of weight, it's pretty incredible. I think the only hard side, or the only downside to this tent is trying to find a footprint somewhere you can actually pitch this length of shelter without running into any obstacles. And the other thing that I would say, the small critique about this shelter, is that they give you the hard tie-out points here as well. I think they need to do an adjustable, because you can see right there that after having this loosened up a little bit, the material stretches, it's not as tight as it once was. I think they need to have just a little bit of adjustment so you can retighten these over time. Well, thank you very much. Thank you for watching. If you like these videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Leave comments under the YouTube video channels. I try and get to those as best I can. Leave a question if you have any questions about these under the Ask Brad section of our forums. I can try and have retail prices on these. I'm not really sure right now what these are going to be, or if these are final models. But I just wanted to give you a quick sneak peek on what's coming out and what I think is neat. Thanks for watching.